Good morning, me again, Daryl. Back out here. I've got the middle child on the lift. I call him the middle child because I've got one older and I've got one newer. So this one's in the middle, my middle child. If you watched my video, the one up here where I went on my trip and had a few problems, I found easy solutions to two of them. The high beam light, all it was a broken wire. Easy fix, just pull the bulb out, snip the wire, rejoined. Did a rejoin? I don't know, for some reason it broke off. The horn, same thing. It was just the little spade connector that goes on to the horn, onto the little prong thingy. It broke off. Put another one on, stuck it on, it works. Now the starter, that's another story. Like I said, I got the battery disconnected now, I can't show you. But if I click the button, if I push the button, all I got was click, 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 and I had a no start issue. So what I did was I will show you that right after the intro, okay? I'll show you what I did to solve that. Roll them. So I'll get you in there nice and close. So if you look under that wire, you'll see this thing. So what that is it's an actual starter switch. Oh, I moved that out of the way, you can see it a little better. It's absolutely filthy now because I ride in the summer and I clean in the winter. But what it is this thing. So I'm going to put another one of these on my Heritage Softail. This one's a lot of black in here, so I decided to go with the black one. My Heritage has an enormous amount of chrome, so I figured I'd put a chrome one in there. If I put a black one in there, people would notice it. If I put a chrome one in there, they probably won't so much. But if I click the starter button, I had a no start. But luckily, I could actually physically push the button and get this thing to start. This kind of saved my trip. If not, I would have had to have run a wire, jumper wire, and jump this thing every time I wanted to start it. So first thing we got to do is we got to get this off. So I've already got my saddlebag off. I took the side cover off to get at the battery. It's right here. So I got to take the side cover off to get at my battery. My battery's not under the seat on this one. And I took the negative and positive off the battery. Because what you're going to be doing, is we're going to try and get this little kit in. It's a repair kit for a solenoid. So here's your actual plunger that goes in there. So you've got a positive wire that comes in, and then you have what they call I call them igniter wire or whatever, that sends a signal to magnetize and pull this in. So you have your one that comes off the battery. I don't know which one is which, but comes off the battery, your post. This is your post. And it goes up, as your battery's hooked to that. So what it does is when this energizes, it pulls this in, creates a bridge for the power to go through to hit the starter. Once power gets on the starter, it spins the starter around. I'm really hoping we can do this in the bike. I'm really gonna try my best to get in there and do this. So first off, where'd my wrench go? Up here. There we go. I got to get this button off. So this is a 9/32. That's a 1/2 inch. An easy spot for big hands. Okay, that bolt's off. So there's your positive starter wire. That one comes from the battery. And this is your ignition wires. So that's out of the way. So now we can get that last bolt out and we can take a look at the mess we might have inside there. I can't believe how dirty this thing got. This thing was spotless before I went on my trip. There's a bit of corrosion in there. So that's okay. Oh yeah, that is Bernie Bernerson. So there's the only other part we're gonna reuse, I think. But yeah, look at that. Wow. There's the new one. For some reason, it looks like a lot more surface area on this one than that one. Seems to go in there. Yeah, they're burnt. Okay. So this bottom one, I think we're going to have a real problem with. But that one doesn't look too bad. So that bottom one doesn't look too bad. But that top one is real bad. Yeah, but that's not even the. Yeah. Well, we'll take the top one out and we'll see what we can do. That bottom one doesn't look too bad at all. It's the top one that's all burnt. So we'll take that top one out. If we can. Of course, we put a 9/16 on the bottom and a 1/2 inch on the top. Okay. Not much room to turn a wrench in here either. Luckily. Nope. Oh, come on. Get that little bugger off. Okay, so there's the bolts. So now what we'll do is we'll just kind of slowly drop that down. Take the little top one off. Slowly drop it down. Oh, geez, yeah. There's not much left of that, is there? Wow. That's been really cooking. Jeez. Do you see that? You see how much that's burnt, like gone? Wow. That is really, that's toast. Oh, toast and jam. But that bottom one still looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little piece of sandpaper and I'm just going to give that a rub. Save myself. Can you see that in there? Let me see if I can get you. Zooms right in there. Can I do that? So you see the bottom one? The bottom one doesn't even look like it's really been touched. It's not too bad whatsoever. It's just the one coming from the top. Okay, so we'll get a piece of emery cloth and I'll give that a little touch up and we'll put a new one in the top. See what happens. Okay, a little piece of emery cloth there. I can get my fingers in there. Sorry, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. I can barely see what I'm doing. I'm just going to pull that back and forth across there. Just to clean up any dust on it. Well, yeah. Darn near brand new already. Yeah, I can live with that. Definitely. Okay, I'm going to get some air to blow out that thing. So, that seems like it's going to be a pretty easy fix. What we'll do is we'll put all this back together. Just like they had the old one. So we got the little square block. Goes on. Get the O-ring out of there. She put a little piece of paper back. Can you see that? Am I doing this wrong? Put the little piece of paper back in. And then they had this. There's the O-ring. It goes on the top though. Well, we got to put that on the top, outside. Okay. So we just take this and I might have to go get a pair of needle nose pliers. Get that in there. Line that up with the hole. My bow of thought thing on with, and I need my little washer. Put my washer on, and I put, yes. Oh, I gotta take that off. Easier to get in around the back of the exhaust. We put our nut on, which holds, get out of the way, the darn thing up there. Everything looks pretty good in, no it doesn't. Oh, yeah it is, okay. I don't think it's interfering with that hole, but we will see. I have no torque specs on this thing, so I'm just kind of going with my best judgment, you know what I mean? I've been doing this for, oh, freaking 50 years or more. Not bikes, but I mean, yeah, always playing around with, you know, bikes, snowmobiles, cars, trucks, diesels, you name it. I'll play with it, get it working. Always got to get it working. Okay, 1/2 inch. Wow, that's not a lot of turning room in there. If I go in this way. Nope, that's even worse. Probably should have just got a socket. You want to make sure this is tight because it's your positive wire to the starter. So you don't want it to be arcing at all. How come that doesn't feel like a half now? Why? I have no idea. It's going in there. One side is tight. Okay, one more. If you can't get the wrench on the darn thing on one, and then when you turn it, you can get the wrench on. Okay. That's probably a friggin' metric. Okay, so we'll put our new plunger in. Put the spring on. Get that in there. Make sure there's nothing hitting, nothing interfering. Okay, so we will put this all back together again. There we go, right there. Over our positive wire. That's very important to put that over there. Plug in, come on baby, plug in this one. Our signal wire, whatever we want to call it. Is yeah, that's our 10 millimeter. We're going to use a screwdriver so that we're not swinging this thing back and forth and hitting anything to make a spark. guess while I'm here, I've got my little piece of emery cloth. Give that a little touch up. Wipe down. I think mostly just a little bit of grease that was on there. What did I? Oh, right there. I usually put a bit of grease on my bolts. Torque. The negative wire. A bit of a wipe. That looks pretty good anyway. We'll just give it a little wipe. Make good contact. Oh, zing. I heard things going. Oh yeah, now I've lost all the freaking presets in my radio, I think. Cute. Okay. Tighten that up. Take the gloves off. Turn the ignition on. And will she start with the button? Yes. Beautiful. So what I'm saying is, now with this button that I have here, which is pretty much hidden, but with the key on, all I have to do is push the button, and that gets the starter going. So I don't know what year this thing goes with. I don't know if it'll work with a fuel injection model. I don't see why not. If your key is on or your ignition is on, but your starter doesn't work, I'm pretty sure you just be able to do that and get your bike started. So like I say, they're really handy little things. They're very inexpensive. I got this off of Amazon. I think it was like 25 bucks or something. You just put a gasket on there and screw it on in place of the cover. There's just a little cover there with a little similar bump on it. And yeah, I wish I had one here. I do somewhere, but I don't know where it is right now. So that was a pretty easy fix. It probably would have been a lot harder if I would have had to take that bottom bolt out, but I think we could have done it. But it didn't look bad, so I don't like to change things that don't seem to be a problem. So now I've got a spare or whatever, just in case one of the other bikes go down or whatever. I got other parts. I got another kit there for the other bike just in case it goes down. But like I said, I got this to put on the Heritage Softail. Now it is a Softail, so it's going to be a little harder to get in underneath the oil tank to get that one on there, but that'll be another video. So subscribe and watch this video if you'd like. I appreciate it. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully this helps somebody. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.